Hello guys, Splatoon Sheldon, and we are back with another video, but we are finally doing the making video that we finally promised and haven't done basically, and I am sorry about that. I was waiting on a few deliveries for materials to come, and it did take longer than expected. Now you can probably see that my setup has also changed a lot. You can see that I've got LED strip lights and that the shooter weapons and the squiffer and the charger are at the bottom, whilst the bigger weapons at the blaster are all really neat at the top, and you can see some of the different colours I'm going through. So let me know which colour is your favourite. Mine is probably that really light blue that was just on, but I really do like this kind of blue as well. It really just makes the weapons pop. So let me know what weapon you want to see next and what colours you want to see next and which was your favourite. Today we're going to be making the Kensa Splat dualies. You can see that I've made two versions, one from the game and one of my personal design that I would have used. I think it looks really cool. We did make this before, but we accidentally broke it. So this is me remaking one of my favourite makes that I've ever made. And you can see that we've got an opposite coloured one with white and black details on it instead, and I really think they should have gone with this design. So let me know which one you like better. Now if you didn't know, I'm also on TikTok now, and I let people request what guns I make, and this was requested by E2 and Snowman, and thank you to you for the request and thanks for the sub. Now let's get started. Now like we said, we're making the Kensa dualies, and what I want you to know is that you don't have to make it exactly how I'm making it. I'm just making it because this was requested by Snowman, who actually used these weapons in Splatoon 2. But by using this tutorial, hopefully you'll be able to make yours with your own design and get creative with it. And be sure to show me on TikTok or wherever what kind of designs you actually did pick. So let's go over what you're going to need. For this project, you're going to need a glue gun. This is really handy. You can use super glue, never PVA. You're also going to need scissors. You can use a craft knife. You're definitely going to need a pen to trace out the templates. A ruler isn't necessary, but is useful. You're definitely going to need these. These are just like apple juice containers I got from my school. You're going to need water bottles, some cardstock, and these little PVC pipe connectors. You're probably going to need about 6 of them in total. You're going to need the templates as well. And let's get into it. After you've printed out the template and you've gotten it from the description, take this piece of your template and trace it onto the foam 4 times. You're going to want to do this 4 times, and this is because we're making 2 guns. So 2 pieces are going to be for one gun and the other 2 are going to be for the other one. So carefully trace this out, and when you're done it should look something like this. This is what it should look like. You can see they're all traced out carefully and they look really good. Now what you're going to need to do is take your pieces of foam that we've just made and essentially just glue it to the cardstock and cut it out. This is going to make sure that it's covered, and since we're making a white Kensa blaster version, we're going to use white cardstock to cover it. But you can also use white EVA foam or whatever colour you want, and you can see this is just what I'm doing. And then I'm going to carefully cut around it, and it's just going to leave it covered in the white foam. And you want to do this for all of the pieces, but since 2 pieces are going to be for one gun, make sure that they're on the right side, so you're not just using all of your materials. But cut it out carefully and do this for all of the pieces, and I'll see you when it's done. Now all the pieces are done, you can see in the top, take this piece of your template and trace this onto the cardstock 4 times as well. This is basically going to be the border piece that you see, and it kind of just gives it the details and the 3D edge instead of the dualies just being flat. And you can see I'm just using my ruler to straighten up the lines and just do the inside a bit neater. So Do this 4 times, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to glue this on the inside, and I'll show you and then I'll skip ahead. You can see that it's just going around the outside, almost like a border, and it's just going to give it some nice detail and make it look accurate to the actual dualies that you see in the game. And you can see that we've made 3 of these, and you need 4, so I'm just going to skip ahead and show you what they will look like when it's done. Now we're getting into the part where we kind of go away from the template. This is because I'm making a few strips of cardstock that's going to bring the 2 pieces together, but I'm trying to make this as thick as possible, and whilst I'm showing how to do the Joy-Con mechanism, I'm not really going to use it. I'm just really making this for display, so mine are going to be thicker, but you should try and do yours to your desired thickness, and so it's not bigger than the Joy-Con piece that you're going to make later. So you could either wait until that's done and then do this piece, or you could just do it now. But the only reason I say this is because once you make the handle piece that fits the Joy-Con in, or this foam strip piece is bigger, then the Joy-Con's just going to fall out, and you don't want that if you want to make it sort of like the Labo version that we're going to be showing. Now take these pieces you see here, and for now I'm just going to glue it sort of like what you see here. I'm just going to glue the PVC pipe there because this is going to be our nozzle, and it does take some time to dry in the position that I want, so I'm going to do it now. And since I'm making the main body of the gun after this will be good to have it dry, and then when I want it ready I can just stick it on immediately. So I'm just going to do that quickly. Now I can finally work on the main body of the gun, and you can see me gluing this main body piece here, which I'll then glue to the cardstock strip we made. And this is basically just going to serve as a connector that's going to connect the other piece of the gun, just making it 3D again. You can see we'll trim off the excess here in a second, and that's basically all you need to do, and then just cover the gaps. So I'll show you and then I'll skip ahead again. Now after I've done that, you can see that it's starting to really look 3D and really look like the gun, but we do have this gap at the front. So what I'm going to do is just glue the sides here really carefully, and then I'm going to put a cardboard or cardstock strip over it, and this is basically just going to cover the whole thing. But once it's glued, I'm actually going to make a hole in it, and this is where the PVC pipe and nozzle is going to go. So I'm just going to make sure it's glued, and then I'm going to make the hole, which you're going to see. And you can see that I'm just cutting out a hole, marking it out with my pen, and then I'm going to try and cut it, but then I do have to re-glue some of the parts because they did come undone. And then I'm just going to take my nozzle bit there and just going to kind of put it inside the hole and glue it so it holds like this. And I'm going to put it at the downward angle I want, so it kind of looks like the game. Now since it's the same process for the other gun that you'll make, I skipped ahead and made this, as you can see here, and this is how they both look. You can see that they just look 3D. I left the bit at the back undone, and this is because the handle's going to attach to it, but you can see it looks really good here. It looks clean. It's alright to make mistakes since the glue gun and the spray paint will cover up most of the mistakes. And yeah, you can put these to the side for now because now we can start on the handle piece. Now grab this piece of the template with the 2 lines going through it and trace it onto your EVA foam mat twice. You're going to need 4 of these in total on the foam because 2 for each gun again, but since we're working on 1 gun, you only need 2 at the moment. Once you're done, cut these out, and then you're also going to trace another 2 onto some white cardstock or your color choice of foam. This bit's getting really important, so the 2 lines on your template, you need to trace them onto your foam and then cut them out as you see I'm doing here. This is going to be the bit where the Joy-Con sits inside, and then what you'll do is you'll line these pieces up with the cardstock and glue them there. So it's still there, but the gap is there so you can slide the Joy-Cons through. And that's what you'll see me doing here after I glue this piece of foam to the cardstock. As you can see, we're gluing it so it's exactly in line with the actual cardstock, and then we're going to do the same thing with the other part as well. And that's basically all you need to do. I'd suggest really making this accurate so that the Joy-Con gap isn't too big. But if you do make it too big, I'd say just line the sides with some glue and that'll thicken and make it smaller, make the gap smaller. And you can now see once it's glued, you can see how the Joy-Cons fit inside and it just stays there. That's how you want it to be. And this part's really important because you want to build the handle around how the Joy-Con actually stays inside this piece and the thickness. And I, again, didn't do this because I didn't really want to make it like this, but I'm still trying to show you the process. And it's really important that you do it like that, because if you don't, the Joy-Con will fall out, as I did say earlier. And now I'm just gluing the handle pieces to the actual main body of the gun, and I'm going to speed ahead because that's pretty much all this is. And I'm going to cover the bottom gap that this makes with some cardstock. Now we're getting into one of my favourite bits. See, I use this flavoured water bottle from Volvic here that I just had left over. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut 4 lines down, so here. And I'm going to use my knife to cut a hole in it. And then I'm going to use my scissors to cut it so it's really short. And this is going to serve as the ink tank on the bottom of the gun. And you can see how it's just going to sit there and be like the ink tank in the real game. But now we need to figure out how to attach it. So what I do is I get the water bottle cap and I use my scissors to poke a hole in it. And I'm going to try and widen this hole. So those 2 pieces that we use for the nozzle, we get 2 more, and then we're just going to try and shove that in there. Now this process is really long. And this actually took ages to do, so I'm going to speed through this. But all it is you're just going to create a hole so the PVC pipe can just fit through and then connect the bottle, which will be glued to the bottom of the gun. Now what I'm doing is I'm pressing the bottle onto the foam, and then I'm cutting out what kind of shape it leaves, and this is going to fill out the bottom, as you can see here. And all I'm going to do is just glue this piece to the bottom so there's no gap in between. Once that's done, you can see how we've made it, and we're going to glue this PVC pipe that's connecting everything to the bottom of the gun here. I'd also suggest gluing around it as well, just so there's extra protection, because the cardstock might not be as strong. Now it's really starting to take shape here, but we do need something that connects the top piece, sort of like this cable. So I'm going to cut out this thin strip of EVA foam, and then I'm going to connect this PVC pipe to the top of the gun, and then I'm just going to put the EVA foam strip through, which goes through to the bottom that connects the bottle. And remember, again, we are going to spray paint this whole thing white, and I did go ahead and make the second gun since it's the same process, and you can see that they are really starting to take shape here. So we're going to spray paint the whole thing white, and then we can do the really fun part, which is the details of the gun, and that's where you can really go crazy and be as creative as possible. So I'll see you guys later. And we are back. You can see that the guns I'm about to show you now are completely spray painted white. Now you can see that I did get some on my hands, so remember to wear gloves. You can see everything spray painted white, and now we get to do the really fun bit and my favorite bit, which is adding the details. Now I really like this bit because you can be as crazy as you want. You can add tens or thousands of Kensa logos from big to small. I kind of kept it simple and just went for one that looks like my black one, but in future I definitely want to do one that just had Kensa logos everywhere, on the bottle, on the handle, the nozzle, everywhere. But you can see I'm just cutting out some Kensa logos, so there is no template for this, because this is basically just a canvas where you can do whatever you want and make it look however you want. So I'm just going to speed this up since this is about 36 minutes, and I'm going to speed it up so it basically looks like 2. So I'll see you later. Now we are done. You can see the design that I went with is really simple. It's basically just black details, a few black strips going across. You can see it looks really good though. And like I said, you can be as creative as you want. Now you can see how good the guns here look, and I'm always gonna say that they should be more creative with some of these designs. That Kensa should have been white with black on it instead of black with white on it. You saw my Kensa Plus, so that's how I feel. But if you like this video, then be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and follow me on TikTok, Ammo Night Shop, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.